Hello, everyone. This is Putnam County historian Larry Tippin. We are continuing our series on tiny towns and vanished villages of Putnam County. Today, we're going to talk about Bavalia, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, which was a collection of homes partly in Putnam and Park counties in Section 6 of Madison Township, about 2 miles northwest of Brunerstown, and about 8, maybe 9 miles west of Greencastle. It was never platted. It doesn't show up on very many maps. This is 1864 map, courtesy of the Library of Congress. You can get it online. It's a very nice map. This shows in Madison Township, the western edge of it, along the Park County line. We see Brunerstown. And then in this area here is Bavalia. And Greencastle is about 7-8 miles to the east from here. This is a really neat map. We use this a lot in our research. It's called Poster Routes of 1912, where the post office department marks the post offices and then the people that carry the mail in those areas. You can see there's not very many that do so here because it's so sparsely populated, and the homes are way off the road in some cases. This is a very nice map because we see some locations here that aren't on other maps. This is about the only map we see of Bavalia. Interestingly, this post office was discontinued a few years prior to this, but it still shows up in the 1912 postal routes. Although Brunerstown is not here, the post office in Brunerstown discontinued all the way back in 1859. And of course, you see the edge of Greencastle. And this is what we call West Walnut Road. And then the postmasters, Bavalia, 1882, 1905, the Richard James, Asa Cook, then Isaac and Eli Bratton, discontinued 1905. These are excerpts from a publication called Postmasters, 1832 to 1971, which was a handwritten ledger of the post offices and the appointment of the postmasters. You can see this one here, Richard James and Asa Cook. And then this kind of a mess here, but it looks like it was discontinued. The mail moved to Lena in Park County, February 6, 1905. Interesting articles. I like to research the newspapers. It's a lot of fun. You can go to the Hoosier State Chronicles online and look at some of the newspapers. You can Google some of these things or whatever search engine you like to use. This is a reminisce 1973, I believe by Emory Bratton, where they talk about trading skunk pelts, which we use for barter, at the store of Bavalia. We're going to do a close-up of parts of this. Again, if you want to read it, you can stop, go back anytime, or pause. You should pause, I should say, the presentation. Stop, read the whole thing if you want. But we're going to zoom in on parts of this. And then we see Eldon and Emory Bratton, who are buying, selling the furs. They're saying they had a variety, but Emory is noting that skunks was the most sought after, and a star skunk, one who had just a suggestion of white on his head, was the most valuable. And then they had a short stripe skunk. And then Eldon and Emory just grew up in the fur business from their father, Isaac Bratton, who had the store, the fur trading post. People came from miles around. I mean, literally miles around. I mean, counties, many counties, to trade their furs at Bavalia, the Brattons. It said that they were quite good at it, and they were so good they very seldom had a fur return. When they had to turn in the furs, go to St. Louis or other places, maybe Cincinnati, and sell the furs. They had almost no furs that were turned down because they were pretty good at it, and they were very good at estimating the price, gave a fair and honest price on the furs. There again, they were quite good at it. All right, here's an interesting story in that. You know, we talk about these interesting stories, may or may not be true, but they're fun anyway. So this one's saying this owner had a dog. All you had to do was show the dog a certain size skinning board, and the dog would run off and find an animal just the right size for that board. Called him a wonder dog. One day, the hunter's wife happened to walk in front of the dog with an ironing board. So the dog jumped off, let out, and never came back. Couldn't find an animal that size, I guess. I don't know. Fun story. Here's another interesting article from 1974. This is Madison Township as a whole. And again, you can go to Hoosier Chronicles and read this if you want, or you can pause to read the whole thing. They're also talking about Ocala on the Big Four and other places, Fern Cliffs, Brunerstown, so forth. I'll summarize parts of that. Said Isaac Bratton, son Emery, who apparently had contributed to that, noted that his grandfather, Milliken Bratton, established a store which dealt in furs, even in the early days, on the Powell County side of the county line, about 1870. And then about 1882, Isaac then moved the store across into Putnam County, which operated until 1918, where his sons, Eldon and Emery, assisted. But they also had the only telephone exchange in the area with 350 subscribers. That was very neat history. Some other fun newspaper articles. This is one from 1933, where somebody, there's a chicken thief near Vidalia. And then this is real cool. I get this. This is from a descendant of the Brattons. It's a very nice picture. This is actually a picture. The picture itself is very high quality. So this is just the picture we took of the picture, showing Isaac, Weldon, and Eldon Bratton in front of their store. Very nice photo. Then Isaac Bratton, his daughter Bernice, in front of the store, and you see their home in the background. This little thing caught my eye, their dog. Maybe that was the wonder dog, I don't know. This little thing caught my eye. There's just a set of steps that they pulled out to help the people get off the horses or step off carriages and so forth. That's pretty neat. And then this is Isaac, his second wife Hattie, and the son Emery, 1902, in front of their home. This is home from another angle. And this is just another photograph of the store. This is probably a little bit earlier. You see the pickle barrel, the rocking chair on the porch. Very cool photo. And then off the side here was, I believe, a barber shop. A little barber shop to the side. This is very nice. Again, this is from a descendant of the Brattons. Showed me in her home. She has the desk that was in the store. Very, very, very cool. And in this chest, opened it up and pulled out the ledgers from the store, the actual original ledgers from the Bratton store, Vidalia. Very neat, very neat. We opened it up. I realize it's kind of hard to read, but this just shows the entries in the ledger book of, I think it's about 1930, 31 or something like that. Very cool. And then the legends of the furs purchased of the 1931-32 winter season. See, they had a lot of skunk, and this apparently we concluded was muskrat. And then finally, this is where an invoice when they sold the furs in St. Louis. Well, they got a certain amount of money for raccoon, muskrat, and so mink. Apparently had 18 mink. Very nice. So I hope you've enjoyed learning a little bit about one of our gone but not forgotten communities in Putnam County, Bavaria.